Hi everyone, so today I decided to do a tutorial using the peach palette again. I know I recently posted a video tutorial on that, but that was a very simple look. This one is just a little bit more dramatic. I did incorporate a bronzy tone from a different palette because I have been wanting to use that color. I love bronzy eyeshadow tones on the lids. I think it's so beautiful. And so I decided to add a little bit of that peachiness and create like a peachy glow around the bronze. It's a super easy look. I also did a really pretty pop of kind of like a peachy tone in the waterline on the lower lash line by mixing two different eyeliners. So overall, I do like this look. I do love the peachy tones, the way it just looks against the bronze, and then of course with my brown eyes, I think that sort of peachiness works well with my color eyes, and I really enjoy it. And I often say this a lot when I use different colors, but it's like once I do a look with them, I'm like, I don't know why I don't use this color very often. And I know I say that all the time when I do colors or looks with greens and olive tones because they're just absolutely beautiful. But I feel the same exact way using these sort of peachy tones from the Sweet Peach palette. And I said before in the previous video that I use this, it's not that unique where you have to have this specific palette. But if you're interested in it, I would definitely pick it up because it's a good quality palette and you have some really beautiful tones in there. But if you want to use what you have and sort of customize this look to what you have and what your preference is, you can totally do that. And I hope that you will enjoy this look, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to see how to do the entire look, then keep watching. Alright guys, so to start off this look, I'm going to take the color called Peaches and Cream, which is a very soft, light peach color. It is matte, and I'm using this as a base to prep my lids before applying any eyeshadows. This is also going to help ensure that there is no creasing because I have used concealer as my primer step. Next, I'm going to take the shade called White Peach. This is a shimmery, light peachy ivory color, and it is absolutely beautiful. I love this color. I'm using a pencil brush to apply this as my brow bone highlight. Next, I'm going to go in with the shade called Georgia. This is a very soft, light pinky peach color, and I'm using a Sigma E25 blending brush, and this is going to be the color that I use in the crease as my transition shade. And as you can see here, that brush really applies the color really nicely, blends it very easily and effortlessly. So I'm building up this color to get a bit of intensity because there's only just a few shades that are going to be applied to the crease for this look. So I'm going to maximize what I'm working with, a few shades, by building it up. And this is actually a really beautiful shade. It is quite light, but if you build it up, you can get some intensity. As you can see here, I'm applying a little bit more, taking that first brush that I used to apply Peaches and Cream to the entire lid space to blend out the edges, and adding and blending as I go. I've talked about this in every video. It's very important to blend so that your eyeshadows look very seamless. And as you can see here, I'm just sort of working that color back and forth in my crease area and diffusing the edges so it looks very smooth. Then I'm going to take the color called Charmed, I'm Sure. And then I'm going to start by applying just a little bit of this color with a pointed crease brush. It's not going to be that blended and pretty. I don't really want to spend a lot of time perfecting this because I didn't want to have like really dark noticeable brown tones in the crease, but I wanted it to create some basically like a wash of brown in the crease and outer V so that it looks a little bit darker, and as I blend that bronze shade, it almost creates a seamless blend from the lid color to the crease. So I just applied a little bit of that, and then I went over it with the color called Oak. This is from the Kat Von D palette, and I'm using the same brush. That is a really nice, yeah, I still had the plastic on my mirror. I was wondering why it looked so weird. But anyways, that brown shade in the Kat Von D palette is just a matte mid-tone brown. You can probably use any tone of brown really if you wanted for this look. And then I'm going back in with that Sigma E25 blending brush that I used to apply the Georgia color. That's going to be sort of the brush that I use to help blend out the edges of that brown tone. Next for the lid, I'm going to use the shade called Synergy. But if you don't have that, you can use Cobbler or Caramelized from the Sweet Peach palette. Either of those two shades are actually really great options for that. But I was dying to put Synergy on my lid. It is the most gorgeous and shimmery, metallic, yummy bronze shade that I have ever used. And it applied so beautifully, and I'm just using a flat eyeshadow brush to apply that all over the lid and making sure that it meets right into the crease area and not blending it too high. So you have to be careful because it is that foiled metallic look. So just keep it on the lower lid area. It is beautiful, you guys. I love those. And I think they're called the Metal Crush eyeshadows. And then I'm going to go back in with the Oak shade, and I'm going to start applying this to the lower lash line with a flat definer brush. And I'm really packing this on. It may look a little intense, but you do have to blend this out. This brush does apply quite a bit at once. But as you see here, I'm using a pencil brush to buff those edges out to create a little bit of smokiness, and I am slightly pulling it down just a little bit on the lower lashes. Not too low, but you could if you wanted to. If you like that smoky look, you can do that. Then I'm going to take this color called Candied Peach, and this is a really beautiful bright peach. It has some glitter specks, which I was a little hesitant to use this in the crease, but honestly, when you apply it, the glitter doesn't really transfer. So I switched brushes, as you saw here, because I really wanted to have more of an impact. Once I saw that the glitter wasn't transferring to the crease, I was like, sweet. Let's apply quite a bit of this, and it's beautiful. And I'm also taking the same amount or same color for the lower lashes just to create a bit of a halo effect around those brown and bronzy tones with that peach. I think it's beautiful, and I don't know. I really love this look. Then I decided to add the shade called Just Peachy, and this is a peachy pink with a golden shimmer. And I just went around everything, basically border all of those tones in the lid and in the crease with those peachy kind of vibes. And I freaking love this. It's so pretty. And just blending everything out, of course, as I always do. And then for the inner corner, I went back in with that white peach, which is that soft ivory kind of shimmery tone. And I'm using a clean pencil brush to apply that to the inner corner. Then I'm tight lining, of course, so that my lashes look nice and thick before going in with my liquid liner, which is the Lancome Grandiose. This is the bendable liner, and I'm doing a winged liner. And I will say, I'm going to be using a little technique here by applying a little bit of a powder eyeshadow on a very tiny detail brush. This is one that's new from Real Techniques. I'm creating an outline as to where I want the wing to be, and then applying the liquid liner. And I have to say, I am so proud of myself because this is probably one of the only times that my actual wing liner looks almost identical on both eyes. So I'm patting myself on the back because this technique, using the eyeshadow to kind of outline it, definitely does work. And this liner is absolutely incredible. I love how rich and how black it is. It's got that satiny type color or finish to it. And then just buff away the little line that I created, which I used the Oak eyeshadow for that. Now for the waterline, I'm going to use the Wonder Pencil from NYX in the shade Light and this bright orange pencil from ColourPop in the shade called Puppy, just to create a bit of a peachy look. And I'm sandwiching those colors together to create the right tone of peach. And then, of course, mascara to finish the eyes. Now for the face, I'm going to take some bronzer. This is the Chocolate Soleil bronzer from Too Faced, and I'm using a Real Techniques multitask brush, my favorite brush. This is going to be in like my top 5 brushes. I love this brush, and I've had it for years, and it's still just as soft and beautiful as the day that I bought it. And then for my blush, I'm using the shade called True Coral. I believe it's called True Coral from Smashbox, and I'm using a Bare Minerals brush to apply that. It's a little bit more of a dense brush, but it does pack on the color quite nicely. And if you get too much, like I always do, I use my damp beauty sponge to kind of soften out those edges. You can blend some translucent powder as well over that to tone it down. Then for highlight, I'm going in with the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. I forget what the color is. I think they only have one shade in this. This is a very, very natural soft highlight, which is good for most days. But, you know, I was feeling a little extra and a little dramatic, so I decided to use my Laura Mercier highlight, and I love this highlight. It's one of my favorites. Completely recommend this highlight. If you are in the market for a highlight or it's your first time and you want to buy a highlight, this Laura Mercier one is absolutely incredible. I think it works for a variety of skin tones, and it's beautiful on the skin. So I had some lip balm on. It's the Sarah Happ Lip Slip. So I'm taking that off before I line my lips with the Milani Color Statement Lip Liner in the shade All Natural. And this is like my favorite lip liner, the favorite color. It's like my lips but better type of shade. It works with absolutely everything that I create, or every lip look that I create. And I did fill them in just a little bit before going in with this Flower Beauty Hydrasilk Ultimate Lip Butter. These are actually really, really good, you guys. And it's in the shade called Naked Petal. It's a beautiful nude shade. So comfortable, glossy, and it's just a really nice formula. And then I decided to go a little bit extra with it. And then I did the Jouer Lip Cream with this metallic kind of peachy pink color. And I think it's called Papaya. It's Papaye. So it's not really technically spelled like papaya. So I don't know how to pronounce it. It'll be listed in the description box for you guys with everything else that I use in today's video. And then this is the overall look. All right, guys. So that's it. That's how you do this look. It's so easy. I absolutely love it. And I really wanted to do something with color because I kind of went a while in this month of January without any makeup on. And I'm sort of getting back into putting eyeshadows on and giving, taking better care of my skin. And I just wanted to do something a little bit fun, but still something that I could use when I go out, because I'm actually going to be leaving the house here in a little while to do some errands. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this look as much as I did. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and you can also follow me on social media. I have Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. It's always listed down below, as well as the list of everything that I use in this tutorial. Have a fabulous day. Thank you so much for spending some of your day with me, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.